Good morning, America. This is Dr. Churi from the Arid Zone. One more time, thank you very much for listening to this video. The title is Justin Bieber, Reptilius Universal Psychical Infestation. Now, this is probably one of the most important newsletter you will ever read. And the video that I'm producing right now must be shared for the sake of all the human beings, especially for the youngest generation, and most particularly the death wish generation. Sad enough, the majority of you are not cosmic conscious, and you do not yet realize the dramatic, the critical importance of this recording today. So if there is a newsletter that you must read, this is it. So once you're done listening to me, please click on the link and understand the depth of the situation that we're in today. And are we going to be able to get out? That depends on you helping me. And I'm being very serious. I mean, very, very serious. Let's start by some of the news that you will see on the CNN or Fox. Why Mars? The fascination with exploring the red planet. Well, the deceptive scientific fascination with Mars must be kept alive, my friend, because rest assured, they need your money to survive. And another thing that I'm assuring you 150% is that no man will ever set foot on Mars or even bypass the lunar orbit. Me to know, you to find out in time. So do not be gullible. Click on the link and read the Mars Cult Society and why it's a deadly proposition. Now, God did not make the moon, Mars, and any other planet for that matter, for the scientists to play around or build a little robot. While science is absolutely phenomenal and give us a good look at what's going on in the universe, is absolutely wonderful. Don't get me wrong. These are the scientists that are stimulated by the draconics, the good extraterrestrial, to use science to travel, technologically speaking, to use all the ingenuity to travel outside of the boundary of the limitation of this dense physical world. But the other one, those who are stimulated by the Reptilius, these are the ones who are going to make bad use of this technology by building nukes, by stimulating the mind of scientists to create viruses, to do all sorts of negative things just to get to your money and deceiving you. So what I'm trying to tell you here, the scientific community is not cosmic conscious, okay? So like the church or coast to coast for that matter, they need your money to survive. And all gullible human beings, we are always support those very deceptive, entertaining organizations. And here I am trying to make you aware what Mars really do in your life. It's either you listen and you watch and you entertain, or you are educated by the scientific world, which is wonderful, okay? Or you realize the real true purpose to why God made Mars. And I'm leaving this to you because you have the answer. You're going to read an email that I received from one of my clients warning her about Mars. And then that's why God created the stars and the heavens. He gave them to us for interpretation so that we may lead a safer, more productive life. And because I want her, just go and read it, put it this way. I don't want to read the entire email here because I have a lot of interesting things to pass on to you. But once you're done, go and read what this lady said about Mars. All right, now, my latest SOS to the World Deadly Window speaks volumes of all the deadly dramatic news I warned you about. And I can only summarize the facts with the word that I used in my latest video, okay? And this is what I said. Police will be killed and police will kill innocent people. Okay, a man killed in Georgia after lunging at a police officer with a knife trying to kill a cop. And then the state trooper shot and killed a teen. He was armed with a knife and a air gun. Very innocent child that died because of the police. And I warn you during those windows, be careful what you do, be careful what you say, be careful anything that will happen. If you have involvement with sex and you are a very famous head or a well-known politician, that's going to come to the light. Nothing comes easy. Nothing is stay hidden during those windows. And I warn you, and a lot of people, as I said, will not make it, and they didn't make it. All right, now, Johnson & Johnson, you all know I took that vaccine and I'm perfectly fine. I am one of the millions of Americans who have had the injection. I told you, if you have a weak Neptune or a badly aspected Neptune in your chart, you're going to have a negative reaction. This is just the way it is. And women seems to be most particularly affected because they are much more emotional than we are. It's just the way it is. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm completely safe. I trust science. I understand science. I understand it, the limitation of science, NASA, Mars, but I understand the beauty of the science. And remember, when I had my dad died of tuberculosis, and this doctor came and inoculated my entire family. We're here today. If you step on the nail, you're going to have an injection of tetanus. Okay, if you have heads, sad enough, now the science is helping those guys to stay alive longer. You need to bypass your fear, your uncontrolled imagination, and realize what science can do or cannot do without you or without those vaccines. As far as I'm concerned, I'm fully confident. I am the perfect example. Everything is just fine, and everything will be fine. Now let's talk about those Reptilius. There is no denying that the Reptilius reign supreme right now on planet Earth. But it's nothing like the dance of evil that I've been talking for so long, not just referring to Russia, Iran, or North Korea now. But once this dragon is going to hit us, okay, you'll understand and you will remember Dr. Cherry. That's where you're going to get your wake-up call. Now, this nasty Reptilius dance of evil is going to take a hell of a lot of people, okay? And particularly many oblivious, vulnerable young souls. They are cursed to die an early demise. And Justin Bieber is one of them. In the newsletter, you're going to see pictures of his back completely and his front completely and entirely loaded with tattoos, the same type of tattoos you see with all those guys that are so reptilian infected that are rotting in jails all over the United States. Now, Justin Bieber was born a very gifted Pisces like me. But he was led by the Reptilius, who owns now his body, mind, and soul to swim downstream into the depth of Neptune quicksands. And once you go down there, there is no return with Neptune. Okay. Born a Plutonic, he is unlucky with the police. Okay. And he's attracted to the criminal element. And he already had problem with the laws. Okay. Now, he is part of the Plutonic death wish generation. And those passionate souls are dangerous to others and themselves, since they don't fear death and they are highly suicidal. So they are a magnet to fulfill the Reptilius agenda. But how many of you are curious enough to read my book, The Power of the Dragon, to see if you are under the jurisdictions of Pluto, if you are a death wish generation, or if you're a part of the baby boom generation like me, or the suicidal generation? You have to pay attention. Read this book. Find out if your mom, your dad, your child, your friend has this type of dragon, and just be careful and try to warn them. Bieber is prone to die a violent death, and I see his neck. I don't know. Is he going to be strangled? Is he going to hang himself? I don't know. But I'm telling you, I see his neck. And you're going to remember, Dr. Cherry, when you read on the news that this young man finally put an end to the dramatic, terrible experiences forced to endure with the Reptilius infecting his body, his mind, and his soul. And unlike you, he doesn't know me. He cannot knock at my door and says, Dr. Churi, I need your help. I'm very depressed. I don't know what I'm doing. I want to kill myself. He doesn't know me. He's not allowed to know me. Instead, he has access to the best of those traditionally educated psychologists and psychiatrists that are running to take my courses because they never understood what it means to be human. It's outside of the realm of traditions that God will speak to us and understand what it means to be human. So, you will see the pictures on the front of his back of his body, completely and entirely tattooed. In fact, it's over tattooed. And that is a sure mark of a Reptilius infestation that is cursing millions of infected souls, as I said earlier, that are rotting in jail. Now, back in 2013, when I was good friend with George Norrie and Tom Deinheiser, I told them, we only have 50 years. But in reality, we have much less time than that ahead of us. And please don't blame me for being negative by offering you critical warning or educating you on the cosmic code jurisdictions and the Reptilius. Okay, I can only go where the world is, and the world is at the bottom, cursed by its own religious and scientific convictions and with a total lack of cosmic awareness. So, what I'm trying to tell you, Bieber is not the only one. There is this young woman, her name is Green. She shows the beautiful alien scars that she has tattooed across her back. Go and see this young kid, beautiful, talented like Bieber, yet she is literally, completely, entirely infected by the Reptilius. Now, being rich, famous, and popular does not mean being smart. It's amazing how young and immature and vulnerable souls like them, okay, can give in to the Reptilius creativity on their own skin, for God's sake. What is dramatic is that she and millions of other young souls from all walks of life, not only the famous people, okay, they are totally oblivious of the immense power those nasty entities exert over their body, their mind, and their vulnerable soul. This type of self-mutilation, artistic display is a realistic message from Green to show how infected she became. Like Bieber. Okay, it's all induced by a powerful drive to search, to connect, and to seek answers to a celestial phenomenon countless celebrity will never get outside of their famous circles where sex, drugs, and rock and roll, including alcohol, reign supreme. That is where the Reptilius reside in this lifestyle. The fact is, those negative extraterrestrials are already part of the human biological and psychical makeup. And mutilating or extreme body piercing or extreme tattooing is an obvious sign of my far-fetched claim of their destructive power over the human race. Now, scientists will now study the brain of former NFL player who police said killed 5 people, then took his own life. For God's sake, my friend. This is what infected souls do when they slave for the Reptilius that have invaded and totally cursed their mind and their life. It is not a normal reaction. And do you think by desiccating the mind of this NFL player, they're going to find out about the Reptilius? Give me a break. There is no difference between your mind, my brain, or the brain of this killer. It's just a computer which is reacting to an outside stimuli produced by the stars, which are manipulated by the Reptilius. There is nothing in your brain than just messages coming from the stars, which are more than dead rock hanging out there for the sake of beauty. You heard of the word lunatic, moody, and crabby, and in time of a full moon, when things goes berserk, the moon is right there, my good friends, right there. She's the closest things that we have to our earth. She does not only create the tide and elevating trillion tons of water, inducing earthquakes, but she's also affecting the mind of people. And the Reptilius are right there because those entities are cosmic conscious, sad enough. Luckily, we have the good guys, the Draconis, that are there to keep balance. But it is not with chemicals or with the scientists that you're going to learn anything valuable. All they're going to do is spend your tax money. That's all they're going to do. Now, do scientists really understand the human brain? No, they don't. Click on the link. Click on the link and get the information that you won't get nowhere else but with Dr. Turi in my YouTube videos. What's interesting is while well-known UFOs experts on a national stage and they are on popular television program all the time, you see the same head, okay? The vast majority of those researchers have never seen a UFO and cannot comprehend various group of extraterrestrial agenda because of their own natural natal UCI. They're said to be logical, practical, down to earth. They cannot enter the archetypal realm of supracosmic consciousness. They are not Pisces. They don't have a specific set of stars that allow them to delegate into the superconscious in time and space. Not a single human being is made the same. So those UFO researchers have a great stuff to offer you, but they have their limitation. You talk to them about being invaded by the extraterrestrial, the Draconius or the Reptilius, good or bad, they won't get it. Some will, some won't. And not trying to diminish the values of their products or what they are offering you, because all roads lead to Rome. I don't own all the keys, but what I own is real, because I'm a real contactee. I've dealt with those entities since I'm 6 years old. Now, this is not a critics against those guys again. It's just an astrological fact that I doubt many of them can or will accept, since they never studied my own work. They are not cosmic conscious. They use their 5 logical human sense to delegate a phenomenon which is bypass their 5 logical mind senses. As simple as that. So their entertaining works offers more questions than answers to a desperate audience seeking answers to these phenomena that are often left in the dark with more questions than answer. All right, my friends, this newsletter that I have written today talks about Sherry Shriner. I don't know how many of you have heard of Sherry Shriner's The Alien Nation, okay? But if somebody was totally and completely Reptilius infected, it was her. It was her. She was talking about the Reptilius nonstop, but she had no clue that you cannot have a day without a night, a front without a back, a God without a devil. That's why she had 2 eyes, 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 sides of the brain. But she was not stimulated. She was not stimulated by the Draconis. She was only stimulated by the Reptilius. So she was right in some ways when it comes to the nasty Reptilius, or what you call the reptilians. But she never, ever had a clue about the Draconis and the good extraterrestrials. And it's because of those good extraterrestrials that we are still on Mother Earth. Now you have infected gurus and famous conspiracy heads, those talking heads like Shriners, David Icke and Alex Jones. They will use anything and everything, including science, extraterrestrial, religion, God, to stimulate their own fear of power. It's their stars talking to you. And those infected souls are adept in making up all sorts of conspirational stories about the government sending you to concentration camp, dangerous alien, and telling you, of course, that Sunday school was staged and the Holocaust didn't take place. And then they're going to come up with stupid, incredibly stupid stories that the Queen or every famous people turn into a lizard and eat children. You have to be a total moron to believe this, but you don't have anything else. And you've been following and reading this junk forever. So now you are indoctrinated. You're indoctrinated by these people who need you to sign up for their newsletters and pay a fee. Mine are free. That's the difference. And mine are real. That's the bigger difference. But that's me to know and you to know and to find out. And if you don't read, much of the idiots out there who critique my works, they never really read. They don't read. They can't read. They assume. And they hate me. They hate me for being direct, for being honest, for being supremely confident to my cosmic wisdom. And they call me an egocentric. And these are the people who more than anybody else need me, because they are the ones that are infected. My good friend, the Reptilius agenda is not a joke. The Reptilius are putting people in power that will stimulate you to get more drugs, to get more tattoos, because they became your idol. And you are looking for something that can help you to survive on hell. You're not going to go to hell. This is it. This is why it's very critical to follow people that give you hopes and give you an understanding to what's going on. If you do not read my book, The Power of the Dragon, how are you going to know if you are part, like Justin Bieber, of a death wish generation? If you don't read my book, Beyond the Secret, how are you going to be able to handle the creative forces of your subconscious? Not realizing that in the depth of your subconscious, this is where God resides, where he knows all about you, where he stops an infection, where he gets your heart beating, the very essence of creation that you were born with. But you've got so much problem, so much worries, paying for your taxes, putting food on the table, wondering if you're not being cheated on or something. You've forgotten that you are so much more than blood, bones, and nerves. You're a human being with an incredible power, the power to create. So are you going to let the Reptilius mutilate your body, take drugs nonstop, and control your psyche, turn you into a lunatic, which is going to be so depressed and so degenerated, you're going to end up killing people or hanging yourself, like Biden will do? Justin Bieber is just a victim. There's nobody to guide him. And he's a Pisces. Oh, there is only two fish. The good fish, remember, Einstein, Michelangelo, George Washington, Dr. Cherry. Then you have the bad fish, Osama bin Laden, who else? Reverend Jones, all these Neptunian, David Koresh, who kill people. ISIS, Pisces, you're talking about the most difficult lessons the souls can choose to do, being born Pisces. Oh, I'm not a Pisces, I'm safe. Oh no, you are a Pisces. You're not just a Taurus, a Leo, a Virgo, or a Libra. You are every sign of the zodiac. And wherever that Pisces is, you're going to be at the worst, most difficult, most karmic lesson you can ever hope for. And hopefully for you, you're going to start to swim upstream towards your birthplace as a child of the universe, the stars, instead of swimming downstream into drugs, alcohol, religion, depression, and finally becoming totally Reptilius infected. So don't think because you're not a Pisces, you're safe. And then your dragon. What about your dragon? There is much more power in the location of your dragon alone than the entire complexity of your chart, as incredible as it may sound. And now you wonder why Vedic astrology from India are knocking at my door nonstop on my website to learn from me. Doesn't it tell you that I got something that maybe you should be looking at and understand? That you are nothing else than a robot of your stars being manipulated by negative entities, and you hope the UFO experts are going to guide you and to tell you? My friend, there is a little bit more about this big, huge universe. And as a child of the universe, as I said, there is a reason for you to be here, and that's to burn karma, to grow up, so that you can stop the reincarnation principle and come back on this hell. And I am here to help you. Please read that newsletter, because you're not safe. And it's going to get worse with the dance of evil coming. Put your hand on my books. And if you order a reading, please, please, please be patient. My movies on Amazon Prime are completely and entirely loading me. I'll get to you in time. And God knows people wait 3, 4, 5 months that I've been doing lately, and they're all blown away and very happy with my work because they finally regenerate and get an understanding at a personal level what those stars are doing to them. And then they can apply the will or the part of God in them to control their destiny and finally reach love, happiness, joy, and security. It's all written in the stars, my good friends. Please share this video. Do it for the sake of the children of the future. And do not think for a second that I am a guru. I'm not a guru, okay? I am really, really committed to you, to help you and the children of the future to get rid of those nasty entities so we can enjoy the age of Aquarius, the age of love, understanding, universality, where we're going to share this world with our space brothers. Until then, you're still very vulnerable. You don't know enough. That's why it's important to watch my video, to talk about my video, to read my newsletter and share my newsletters. Until then, my good friend, we'll talk to you again. God bless all of you and thank you for listening. Bye-bye.